Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One. It is Wednesday, March the 7th, the year 2018. Let's talk trading. Building blocks. I was talking to a trading buddy of mine, John. Shout out to you, John, yesterday. And we were talking about various things, winning and losing, profit and loss, and being focused in trading. And I was telling him about an indicator method and system I've been working on. And he was asking me about it. And then I was saying, really though, you just have to get back to, the basics. And I was telling him about something. He goes, yeah, method. I go, no. Or he said, okay, strategy. I go, no, it's really tactics. There's a difference between strategy and tactics. And, and all those different things are part of the building blocks of what you're doing when you're trading. And I'll get into that a little bit later here. But it's just something to focus on and understand the differences. Sometimes people think it's semantics, but it's not. And not knowing the differences sometimes, takes you down an unprofitable path. Remember, in trading, there's no right and wrong. There's profitable and there's not profitable. So with that, money and risk management, it makes the difference between being profitable and unprofitable. So once again, you get to see this screen that you'll get to see in every video pretty much because it's important. And let's see, looking at dollar Canadian here. Now, if I remember correctly, yesterday, weren't we looking at something down here? It pulled back and it looks like it popped through that weekly high again. You can see here, we've got 95 pips above that weekly open. You see it's also right there on the indicator. You got 51 above the high. Nice trades if you took it. Nice trades. And once again, for those just tuning in, all the gaps filled. And once again, I really see this seems like it's an anomaly, but if you look here, there's only 2 pairs out of this list that are below their weekly open. Okay, we got the CAD yen just hovering right above it, but I mean, that is just odd to me. It really is. I don't know. Maybe some of you guys can chime in and let me know if it also seems a little odd to you. And let's look at things on a daily level here. You can see it basically reversed through that red candle of yesterday. We're in the wick zone. And once again, you see we got 96 pips above the open. We've got some nice ranges once again on the pound pairs. And I was looking a little bit earlier. The euro was, right around that 124.00 even number here. You see it's 5 pips off the low and 52 pips off the high. So it definitely went back down through the 124.00 area. And looking at the buy zone right there in the Australia New Zealand session, it just took off. I believe Trump was talking about that time. I'm not really 100% sure, but I think right around here is when he was talking, because I know the dollar yen was tanking when he was talking. And you can see here, there really wasn't any rat zone trade here. There was one here, you see, it came out just a few pips, pulled back in. It's now trying to make a new high, 2 pips off the high. And for those of you who like to trade the pivots, here's the open, there's the pivot, price hit the pivot. That pivot fade, especially if you're trading that Australia, New Zealand open, the Asian session, definitely. This is one of the methods you can use in your arsenal. Price action trading, which we're going to get into a little bit more, but once again, you can take it the simplest. What color is the candle at the line? Okay, it was red at the line here when it came down. You had a couple pips, scratch the trade, take your 2-pip profit. It was green at the line here. You can once again take some profit. It was red at the line, and then it's green at the line. Once again, something that the beginning trader can do. And the thing is, if you get good at it, you might not ever do anything else. I mean, really, you don't have to. But you'll learn, those fundamental building blocks of managing the trade, position size, executing the stop loss, placing the stop loss, targeting your profit. Maybe you dust off or implement your exit playbook, however you do it, but you're just doing those fundamental building blocks of trading. I mean, if all you do is just focus at the line, I mean, right here, all you do, you're just saying it's green at the line, I'm going to take the trade. If it comes back here, I'm going to stop out. I'm going to use the appropriate position size for my account, and that's pretty much it. I mean, what more can be said? I guess there's a lot more can be said. You can make things really complicated, but it's unnecessary. And here, once again, we're just looking at the 5 lines, yesterday's high, open, mid, close, and low. And you can see there's a lot of action around the previous mid. Once again, candle color at the line could prove very profitable. And that's all you need to do. Nothing more. Some people just, I don't know. They just make it so difficult. And one of the things John and I were talking about was about, instead of trying to catch those big 100-pip runs that I had mentioned before, just taking those 3 to 5 pip scalps and maybe you get a little more. And I was saying, I was really focused on that. And I think my first trade I had a 3-pip win, and the next one I had a 5-pip win, and the next one I think I pulled off about 10 or 11 pips. And it's just like, just increasing those pip wins. But just, once again, focusing, not trying to worry about catching that big run. It's like taking what the market shows me. So for example, if I was in this trade and it does this, and then here on this candle it starts to drop back, I would have just taken it out. Just take the profit. I don't care what happens after. Just take that profit. I can always re-enter the trade, but I mean, you just had a nice lion's share trade. There's no reason to give it back. I mean, if you look here, here's okay, you had this top, and right here, you would have given back 23 pips. There's no need for it. I mean, most likely, when something's running like that, I'd probably drop down to the 15 or maybe even the 5-minute. And here, I'm in this trade. It's not making a new high. Just bail right here. It's like it's from that candle. It's already run. Boom, boom. 2 big candlesticks here on the M5, and it didn't even try to make a new high. Just scratch, just out right here. Take the profit. And so what? Even if you took the profit and then it turned around, you still got this much profit. It's part of that book I think I was reading, the Trying Not to Try, when they said that more people are going to worry about the 2 people ahead instead of the 20 people behind. If you face life like that, you're always going to be unhappy if you focus on what you don't have or what you didn't get. as opposed to focusing on what you have and what you got. So, maybe that's it. Focus on what you have and what you got, okay, as opposed to what what you don't have and what you didn't get. I mean, really, that just makes a lot of sense. Okay, back to trading, and we're looking here at the wick zone, and somebody I think sent an email asking about this. It's like, yeah, see, this is a 2014 donational, so if you want this particular indicator, they said they were looking all over the internet and they couldn't find it. That's a good thing, because people are not supposed to post my code at all. I post my code. Tell people where to find it. Don't post it. Don't share it. So right there, pretty much just that one indicator, and then the indicator that puts everything else that's coming from this indicator. But you can see price was just right out of the wick zone here. It came out of the wick zone again. Now it's in it. We'll see if it exits the wick zone by the end of the day. Okay, and we've got the holo zone. You can see here, we put it in. Came out, but now there we go again. Back into the holo zone. And you can see right here, there wasn't much of a downward zone here. It just wasn't. Never really made a lower holo zone, just that open price. And going back to 15. And there you go, a new high. So chances are at the end of this hour, there'll be a new holo zone somewhere up in here. Okay, now this is where we're going to get into it about building blocks. I think I've been trying to show you guys how I use this indicator, but let me just say, the green line here, that's the valley of the ask. In other words, that's how far down the ask got. And the red line, that's how far up the bid got. Okay? Because the idea is price can't go down unless the ask crosses below that highest peak. Okay? So, that being said, let me show you the indicator. It's the spread dots. And I've modified the spread dots to show the peak boxes and to show peak valley. Why don't I have a show the peak in the valley, okay, which is these two right here. So this is the valley, this is the peak. You see as price goes up, it's peaking. Now, if you want to, we can go down to the M5 and you can see it there. You can make, oh, by the way, I'm curious. Do you guys like the white black, or would you prefer red green candles on these videos? I'm just kind of wondering. But you can see here, price is going up. And now the reason I'm showing this is because you also have the candle color multimeter here. And I was telling my friend John, I go, John, it's really simple. You only trade long if all these are green. I mean, if M5 or M15 or M30 is red, but H1's green, just sit on your hands, because what's it doing? It's pulling back, especially if D1 is green. So anything less than D1 that's red, it's just pulling back. Okay? Now, if price has already hit its range, average range for the day, chances are it might be running out of gas and you look for a reversal. But, these are part of the tactics, okay, that can be deployed to time your entries better, because, if you're only looking for longs, you just want to wait for this to be all green here. You see right there? And when you see these pullbacks, that's the time to start taking profit off the table. As you can see, price drop below that peak, it's time to take profit. And that being said, fellow